All right, let's do this again. Black Power is the General Sarah Sunseti, and I'm black at y'all ass again with this real fucking talk. Y'all know what it is, KingSeti.com online marketplace. Got the classic DVDs, t-shirts, hoodies, scullies, posters, wall tapestries, African jewelry, Kemetic jewelry, most definitely KingSeti.com is in full fucking effect. To all my family out there, I want you to get on over there to my Patreon, General Sarah Sunseti. I'll show y'all some of them fly ass fucking lectures and videos I got over there on my Patreon, exclusive live streams. You can't even, you got to be there to witness it. So go on over there to the Patreon and be amazed. To my family out there that understand when it gets so goddamn hot that I can't have it on YouTube. When I can't have it on Patreon, I got to take it over to GeneralSeti.com, SETI University, over 500 videos on SETI.com, GeneralSeti.com, classic debates, street debates, behind the scenes, videos that you didn't even know exist. You got to go over there and check it out. 500 videos, got 100 videos on the Patreon. Coming up this September 13th, 2020. September 13th, 2020. Origins of the Uralian monkey, creatures from beyond the Caucasus. Did you hear what I just said? Let me put that up there. Niggas got to see that. Creatures from beyond the Caucasus. You see what I'm saying? Origins of the Uralian monkey. Let me bring that down so y'all can see that clearly. You see? Again, live stream lecture presented by General Seti, Sunday, September 13th, 2020, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, you're in the South, you far north and shit, make sure you adjust that time. Eastern time, 3 p.m., $20. And so on that day, September 13th, what I want y'all to know, please use a valid email when filling out info for the ticket purchase. You will receive the link to the live stream by email 15 minutes before starting time. Don't wonder where it's at. It's in your email. And all you have to do is go in there, and I send it out, just repetitiously every 15 minutes. So it will be in there. So the email you use is where you get the link to that live stream. You see what I'm saying? So today we're going in, a lot of people, we say, man, ain't no Moses. We know it ain't no Moses, nigga. But this is what we got, for a lot of people, that just ain't true. For a lot of people, they believe in the Moses. They believe in Moses. They believe in Moses. They believe in all them crazy ass prophets. You see what I'm saying? And so for those out there who so fundamentally believe in these prophets, we're going to have to do some research today on what's exactly true and what's not true. Okay? Now that right there alone, when you start talking about some literature, some laws written on some tablets, you know what I'm saying? That the image alone, damn near break backs. You know what I'm saying? I like them images that break backs. A motherfucker can say they believe, motherfucker gonna go home with a frown on their face. You know what I'm saying? They gonna go home with a goddamn frown on their goddamn face, cause Rev didn't tell them this. Rev didn't tell them this. Rev did not tell them about, there was some goddamn laws on some tablets in ancient Egypt thousands of years before Moses was born. You see, this is not for the family out there that understand, these for those that struggle. You understand what I'm saying? They still doing the Christmas, Easter, Passover, and things like that. They still watch Yul Brynner and goddamn Charleston Heston, 10 Commandments on Easter, Thanksgiving. And so we got to break them up out of the curse that's been put on them, the biblical curse that's been put on them. Now, what's very, very key, Acts Acts 7. Acts 7, 22. What does Act? Let me get on there. Let me blow this on up so we can go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let me zoom out a little bit. I don't want to zoom out that far. Okay. It says, Acts 7:22, that Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and that he was mighty in word and in deed. Okay? He was mighty in word and in deed. And so the thing is, if Moses was learned in all the wisdom, it didn't say some. It didn't say some. It said that Moses was learned in all the wisdom. And so when they say all the wisdom, we understand you know, when it comes to these contradictions that we're going to put up here today, you understand you can't say, oh, well, you know, he didn't know. He had to know because the Bible said that he was learning all the wisdom. Now, as I looked on the, this is from the Prince of Egypt. I'm about to start cracking. And when I get warm, you're going to know when I'm getting warm because I'm going to get to flowing like the Nile River on this motherfucker. I'm looking for this one particular slide I need to have right behind here. And I'm when I get to working, it's going to be an onslaught. Where is it? Here you go, right here. Bingo. 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 Right here. Let me throw this right on there behind me. Because this is going to say something. This is going to speak volumes. You see, let me move that up some. I'm going to get you together before you lay down. I'm going to get you together so you can go to sleep with this wisdom on your brain. Now, the thing is, when you studying this shit about Moses, number one, they say that he was in the house of Seth. That's what they say. And that, you know, his brother, by his adopted brother, because Moses was adopted. So let's roll with the story now, because so we could crack their head. You understand? We could crack it from so many ways. So let's use their own literature against them. You see what I'm saying? So you read and you see this shit. And you see Moses is on the walls as a young man. He's in there on the walls and he looking and studying all the gods, and you know what I'm saying, as we see in this picture. And so I bring you back to the Abydos Kings list, because this is very, very, very vital. It's very, very vital, because what it shows on this particular, let me blow it up just a little more. You see right here, you see Seti, the king, and you see Ramesses II, the young prince, the crown prince. You see what I'm saying? And he's standing before 76 kings. See, that's very clear. And so when you go to and look at the story, you know, you see Moses running with Ramesses, and you know what I'm saying? And you know, so the same education that Ramesses would have gotten, Moses would have gotten. It's no different. So he would have known them 76 kings that preceded him in life. Okay, and we're not even dealing with the Nubian kings that preceded them kings. You see what I'm saying? And so why am I showing this? Because it's always perpetrated that the Bible is the oldest book. Some niggas actually believe that garbage. You understand? You are psychologically deranged if that's what you believe. You understand? I'm going to break it down through the Bible, where they give it up. They know what time it is. And too many people have open their eyes to the facts and know the facts, especially if you fuck with the general. You know, I'm gonna lay it out for you. So this Abydos Kings list is very detrimental. I wanna what's key for me right now. I need to get that Prince of Egypt. Cause yeah, I need that right now. I need that. I need some of them images. I got it right here. I need to show y'all because this is what y'all need to see. Matter of fact, I got some on here already. Right here. This is one. So I can make this so clear to y'all. I don't want you to now understand what I'm saying. Okay? So I put this in here. Now this is the Prince of Egypt. Okay? You see Moses with Ramesses II. Okay? Ramesses II is this young boy right here, crown prince, standing before these 76 kings that preceded him. Now, what's critical about it, that they show us some goddamn Hebrews in Egypt building pyramids, yet and still they ain't built one in Israel. Let me bring some shit up. You ain't, you built all these megalithic structures in Africa and ain't even built one suitable tomb for any king or prophet in Israel. You use the best of your knowledge for your enemy, but you ain't saying none for your own land, your own people. You see what I'm saying? So it's very critical that we understand, because I'm going to show you the fabrication within the Bible and show you how, that even, within it, it'll show you that number one, Genesis is a fraudulent book, number one. And I'm going to show you that. Because when Moses go up on the mountain, God supposedly gave him laws and ordinances. It never state that he gave Moses Genesis. And a lot of people believe that Genesis is the first book, and it's not. It's almost like Star Wars. You know how they came out with Star Wars, then they came with Return of the Empire Strikes Back, then they came with Return of the Jedi, then they started coming with all them other ones, and they state that those are the earliest ones, though they came after the Star Wars and shit. You know what I'm saying? They literally came after, but they say, oh, this is book one. You know what I'm saying? This book two and book three, even though they came after the other movies that we know of, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and fucking Return of the Jedi. So that's really what they did with Genesis. You know what I'm saying? Within the book, and I can show you how they did it. You understand what I'm saying? Because again, if you study it and you study it enough, and you study what God gave him, because that's in the books, it never state where God gave Moses Genesis. Never. That was some shit that was added after the fact. All of it is fabricated. But I want to show you that Exodus is really the first book in the Bible. Exodus. You see what I'm saying? And then the other 4 books, and Genesis was added, and it might have been added after some more of them motherfuckers was created. You understand? Nobody really, I think Dr. Ben said it was added at the Council of Jamia. You understand what I'm saying? And so we have to go back, but I'm going to show you within the book that is true. That that Exodus is the actual first book. You see, why am I doing that? To crack all this mystique. You understand what I'm saying? Because they need Genesis. They need Genesis. If you destroy Genesis, you destroy the Bible. Because the way they constructed it, even though it's not the first book, they tried to put all their eggs in the basket in Genesis. To, even the second, even the birth of Jesus, the need for, a Messiah and all of this, they're coming out of Genesis. So they put all their eggs in the basket in Genesis. And if you crack Genesis, you crack the whole Bible. Ain't no, it really can't stand. So, they're going to do whatever they can to lie and confuse you. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm going to most definitely show you tonight that it's just not true. Now, what's key? Number one, according to the Bible, it was Moses that brought the Hebrews into the literary world. So, they didn't have no books before Moses. You see what I'm saying? Now, we're going to stay within the story. For us that's on another level, we know it ain't no Moses, and that's cool. But for those that's still in kindergarten and preschool and shit, you know what I'm saying, and just don't know, we got to get them up to speed. So that's why when you open up the Bible, it say the first book of Moses, Genesis. The second book of Moses, Exodus. The third book of Moses, what was it? Deuteronomy, one of the two. You understand what I'm saying? So, Leviticus. You see what I'm saying? So the Hebrews didn't have any scrolls or books previous to Moses. So Moses is the key for them. You see, they stand on Moses. He's the greatest prophet in the Bible by far. You pull Moses out of there, all that shit collapse. Whether it be Judaism, whether it be Christianity, whether it be fucking Islam, all of that. If you pull Moses out of there, it's gonna implode. So you can put that firepower on his ass quick. You see what I'm saying? And they in trouble. So when you talk about, it says what? The Torah, the 5 books of Moses. Okay? And they got all type of traditions and shit. And so, let me get this. What does it say right here? The books don't exist until Moses. Okay? And so a lot of people want to act like it was there's nowhere in the Bible where it say Noah had a book. Noah never had a book. Okay? Abraham never had a book. It didn't say that God spoke to Noah or Abraham or Joshua or any member of the 12 tribes and told them to write shit. Okay, nowhere. The only person that God gave laws and ordinances to was Moses. So people thinking that, when they look in the Bible, they think that, them motherfuckers didn't know nothing about no goddamn Abraham or no goddamn Noah or nothing. Those was fabricated stories that came after the story of Moses. You see what I'm saying? Those were fabric. They added that shit on again, just like they added on them goddamn other movies to Star Wars. Okay? And we're going to keep moving. I guarantee you, I'm going to show you. And remember who showed you this shit now. Because this breaks a lot of hearts. Now, we got to understand things. That 2/3 of Moses' life, even though he was the first author of the Hebrews, 2/3 of his life, he was deemed illiterate, okay, until God gave him the laws and ordinances of the Israelite people on Mount Sinai. So even 2/3, and that's going to be critical that you understand, and I'm going to show you the chronology of his life. And when I show you the chronology of his life, then I'm going to show you why Exodus is the first book of the Bible. Okay? It's the first book of the Bible. And see, that alone cracks their ass because they so necessary. Because if you remove Genesis, you remove the creation story, you remove sin, you remove the flood, Noah, you remove the covenant of Abraham, you remove, you understand what I'm saying? All the 12 tribes and shit. You remove all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And so, the Bible is like a building, and each floor is a book. And the bottom book is Genesis, even though it's not the first. And why I say that? Because if you pull that motherfucker out of there, then it's going to implode. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to see the motherfuckers, each level, each story collapse down when you pull Genesis out of there. And you pull Genesis out there by showing that Exodus is actually the first book. Now, let's deal with this. We about to get busy now. I want y'all to walk with me. I want y'all to walk with me now. We're going to walk now. Walk with me. See, they hurting, but I'm gonna bust that head. I'm gonna bust that head. Get them bandages out. I'm about to bust that head. Now we dealing with Acts 7. See, we got to back it up now. Now, when I say, now you got to understand one thing. Acts 7 gives a chronology of Moses' life. Moses lived to be what? 120 years old. Okay? He lives to be 120 years old. Acts breaks his life down into 3 40-year periods. Okay? He breaks his life down into 3 40-year periods. Okay? And so now it speaks in Acts 7:23, it says, and when he was full 40 years old, it came unto his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. So this motherfucker was 40 years old before he even fucking accepted that he was an Israelite. How did he know that? Unless somebody told him, it don't even say how the fuck he knew. Okay? It don't even say how the fuck he knew. He knew. It just said it came into his heart. I mean, well, fuck, how some shit just come, you 40 fucking years old and somehow and so it don't say how it happened. Okay? Now when we go to 30, the next 40 years, because Moses fled Egypt, which we'll go into that even deeper. It says when 40 years were expired, they appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai, an angel of the Lord in a flame of fire in a bush. So he done fled Egypt at this time. So he's living out in Midian. You understand? He done committed murder on Pharaoh's soldier. And so he fled Egypt and he spends 40 years in Midian, okay, under Jethro. And this is where he marries Zipporah, who is an Ethiopian. Okay, he marries Zipporah. And so at the burning bush, he was out there tending flocks and he heard somebody calling Moses. Moses, motherfucker, went up on the mountain and he seen a burning bush. So at the burning bush, he's 80 years old. Okay? He's 80 years old at that time. You see, ain't no books. I want y'all to be clear about that. Okay? Moses does not receive any decalogue, any ordinances, any laws until the Exodus, where they go into the desert and he goes up on Mount Sinai and he receives the 10 Commandments. Okay? Receive the 10 Commandments. And that's very critical. So he says in 36, Acts 7:36, it says he brought them out. After that, he has shown wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness for 40 years. So that's the last 40 years of his life. Okay? So that, breaking it up. So the first fucking 80 years of his life, he didn't even have no books then. You understand what I'm saying? And that's very critical that you understand that. That they didn't even have no goddamn books then. So that's why Exodus is really the first book, because Exodus show you how he was, floating up the damn river. He didn't have no books then. They didn't have no books. Exodus show you how they got the goddamn books. That's why Exodus is the first book of the goddamn Bible. You can't put none of them goddamn books before goddamn. How can Genesis be the first book? And it's the first book of Moses. He ain't writing no books as a baby. He didn't write no books in his first 40 years or even his second 40 years. You understand what I'm saying? He was given that shit in his last 40 years and out in the desert. So you have to put Exodus first. You understand what I'm saying? To see how he got the shit. And the fact is, when you read it, it does not ever. It says that God gave him the 10 Commandments. It says that God gave him the ordinances. There's nowhere where it states that God gave him Genesis. That's very key. And a lot of motherfucking Jews know that. And they mark that. See, niggas out there, because they mark that. They know that. They not stupid. Some put it, but when you bring it up, they will, mention that they understood that he did not receive that on no goddamn mountain, because it's nowhere where it's recorded. So now, you see right here, the first 40 years, when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. So before he even visited his brother, 40 fucking years, this motherfucker been in Egypt. You can see he a baby. You understand? You can look back there, they got architecture, shit all on. You can see him looking on the walls at the gods, the spiritual system, all that. You can see him. And so, this is his first 40 years. And it says he was learned in all the wisdom. But the thing is, they just don't want to say what that wisdom was, because it's really going to shine the light on their ass to what they stole. And so again, and when 40 years were expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai, an angel of the Lord. He's 80 years old. Look at this motherfucker. This motherfucker on his way out. You understand what I'm saying? Then this is where you can see, goddamn it, he's so goddamn old. He looking like, God, what the fuck is you dropping these stone tablets on me like this? You know goddamn well, you know what I'm saying? You're going to crash my goddamn chest in with this shit. So this is when he receives the ordinances, the laws and shit. You understand what I'm saying? Not previous, okay? So Exodus, now you see that Exodus is actually the first book. They didn't have no goddamn books. Damn, man, I'm trying to tell y'all this shit. They didn't have no, even according to the Bible, they did not have no books until the last 40 years of Moses' life. Okay? And when he came down off the goddamn mountain, he only had the 10 Commandments. Okay? And he took that goddamn tablet and he supposedly threw it at the golden calf, Heru. They was worshiping Heru, which you can see back there. They was worshiping the black woman, the Hebrew, was worshiping Hathor, the golden calf, and many more other Egyptian gods, which I'm going to show and prove. Okay? And so you see here. Now, so you see that his supposedly brother, Ramesses, because Moses was adopted into the house. You understand what I'm saying? These are all the 76 kings, and I took it out of it so and there's even more than that. That preceded Ramesses and Moses. Ramesses ain't even on that list. The last king on that list, the 76th king, is Seti. Ramesses ain't even on the list. You know how many? So how the hell is y'all in Egypt building goddamn pyramids, and the pyramids done already been built thousands of years, previous to Ramesses? You could go on the list and walk it down, even 400 years. If you walk it down 400 years back, and you got Seti around, you got Seti around 1200, 1250 BC, before the cracker. And so even if you put 400 years on that and take it back to 1600, you still in the new kingdom. You see what I'm saying? You in the new kingdom. They stopped building pyramids. You know what I'm saying? Right around, the 13th megalithic, pyramid. So they had been, the 13th dynasty, they had stopped. So you talking about right around 1700 BC, late 1600 BC, Amenhotep III built the last large pyramid. So they had already stopped building, but you see in there, they pulling blocks and shit and all of this shit, and then they over there digging for any little crumb of evidence. If you had that kind of fucking knowledge, why didn't you build adequate tombs? This is just, it's critical that we emphasize that. If you had that kind of knowledge to build great mega, where is the, even and at the time of Ramesses and Seti, and even in the New Kingdom, they was burying in the Valley of the Kings. They were not using pyramids. They were digging in the Valley of the Kings. All the kings of the New Kingdom are built, and queens are built in the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queen. So they wasn't even building goddamn. So that shit is garbage altogether. Once you know that, you tied to Ramesses, and now they don't even want this called Ramesses. They want to try to move it, back. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they stuck. You know what I'm saying? So now they want to kind of move and say, well, it wasn't Ramesses and Seti. They want to try to move it back and say, well, maybe it was Ahmose, and and even then, you know what I'm saying? You're going to literally have to take it clean out the New Kingdom to try to get that lie over, that they built goddamn pyramid. And this is what the fuck they saying. So they would literally have to turn their whole timeline upside fucking down to pull that shit off. So many of them didn't just tap. You know what I'm saying? The niggas out there that trying, all they doing is using European authors to try to get some, something, make a portal for them to jump through. And most of them is on some occult shit. They ain't really, they're not really his archaeologists per se. These motherfuckers is occult Egyptologists. Okay? So we see here that the great kings, and this is Leviticus 26:46. I'm gonna blow this up for y'all so y'all can see this. So you see, it said, these are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. It does not say nothing. It says statutes, judgments, and laws. He did not give them no goddamn book of fucking, no goddamn book of Genesis. Now, this is another critical thing. Look at this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Now, even though we've been proven that Exodus is the first book, because Exodus showed how the motherfucker was born. He wasn't born with the Bible. Okay? It showed him floating down the Nile. It showed all the great, everything was already there before his ass was even born. Okay? So even the fact, even the myth of the Hebrews being in Egypt, that come with Moses. No, and we know he don't exist, but we gonna ride this shit. We got to ride it now. Even that come with Moses, because he supposedly wrote Genesis, which we know is a goddamn lie. But it started with Moses. What nobody would have ever known, and no Hebrews or nothing. Shit, nobody had ever wrote no books. Noah, Abraham, Adam, not a goddamn one of them ever wrote a book or was ever attributed to have wrote a book or was ordained by God to write a book. So it was Moses, so we got to stay on that. Now, did Moses really write the books? See, we pushing it back some more. Did he really? We know he didn't write the book. Because when we go to Deuteronomy, we go to 34, and it says, listen to this. We're talking about 5. We're talking about Deuteronomy 34:5. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Bethpor. But no man knoweth of his sepulchre. Now, if Moses wrote Deuteronomy, how the fuck is he over there right? Let me blow this shit up. So, damn, I got it so small that y'all can't listen to this shit. So you can see it. Deuteronomy, you can go look it up. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord, and he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Bethpor. But no man knoweth his sepulchre unto this day. And Moses was 120 years old. And okay, that backs it up. He was 100 when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his natural force abated. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plain of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning of Moses were ended. Now, number one, how the fuck is a man gonna write of his own death and goddamn burial? You understand what I'm saying? How the fuck is a man gonna write of his own death and burial? So we pushing it back even further. We showing that Exodus number 1, according to the story of Moses, is the first book. And then the laws and ordinances and all of that come before some goddamn Genesis. They added that shit after the fact. Okay, as they, it's all fabricated. But just like the movies and shit, you adding on to it and you extending the lie and say, God damn, I can add something on to that. And then another motherfucker come and they just keep writing. You got all kind of writers that's why you got so many goddamn contradictions. Ain't none of it given by God. It's all created by men. But I just want to ride this story just to show you. Okay? If you don't have Genesis, you don't have no Jesus. Okay? Number one, if you take Genesis out there, Jesus is over with. Because Jesus was supposedly born, crucified, and resurrected for fucking original sin. If you take Genesis out there, you don't have no original sin. Okay, you take Jesus off of it. You see what I'm saying? And then if you take Genesis out there, it says that, goddamn it, the land of Canaan was given to the Israelites by the decree of God. You take that out of there, the motherfuckers, anybody, even the niggas and the Caucasoid that's over there talking about Israel, they got to go. You understand what I'm saying? So it's so much tied into that. So if you remove Genesis, you done goddamn collapse 3 major goddamn religions. Let me go down, y'all. Where did the book of Genesis come from? Another thing, if Moses wrote the Torah, listen to this. Why is he always talking in third person? Okay, why did he write in third? And Moses this, and Moses that. You understand what I'm saying? Why did he write that shit in third person? You see what I'm saying? And, I'm going to say, motherfucker, this is, I say, nigga, I did this. I went up on the mountain and gave these motherfuckers the laws, and they come down off the mountain, and these motherfuckers out here tripping, out here worshiping African deities. And I took the goddamn stones and I crashed them motherfuckers on 2-3 of them niggas' head. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I did. You understand? That's how you talk. And I taught these motherfuckers, this is how but and Moses did, and Moses and all of them taught. Many of them talk in third person. You know what I'm saying? So goddamn well that this is not a first-hand account. Okay, we must state that clearly, that this is not a first-hand account. Now you see right here, okay? Now I wanted to put this up so y'all can see that, so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now this right here is the first one. This Star Wars. They ain't got them all in order, but this is the first one, Star Wars. Then you got Return of the Jedi. Then you got Empire Strike Back. Then they came with Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, New Hope, Star Wars The Last Jedi, Rogue One. And so this is what they did with Genesis. You understand? They came back and added that shit after the fact. You understand what I'm saying? It has no place in what God supposedly gave Moses on the mountain. So we got to, we got to deal with that. Now check this out. Now listen to this. Now after he then fucking received the 10 Commandments on the stone tablet. He still on the stone tablet. Now listen what it say after that. It say, Exodus 24:4, and Moses, listen to it, wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. So he wrote a book. Okay, not only did he receive the motherfucking tablets, this motherfucker went and wrote a book. Now, where the fuck did he write? How did he, if Moses is the first literate Hebrew, where did he learn how to write the book? I'm going to ask some critical questions before I get off of here tonight. And they're going to be straight to the point. You understand what I'm saying? And motherfucker, you can go sleep and you can wiggle and shit because your motherfucking spirit is, you know what I'm saying, uneasy because now you got some goddamn questions that got to be answered. Okay? Now it said he wrote a book. Now he didn't receive some damn law. That supposed to have been from God. God supposedly put his fucking finger on the tablet and wrote that shit. Now Moses is writing a book. Now we're going to ask the question again because it stated that Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. But when I ask any motherfucker that's a Hebrew, Christian, or Muslim, what did he learn? Nobody want to say shit. Don't nobody want to say that, oh, where the motherfucker learned some, he learned writing and he learned how to use paper and ink and he got an alphabet. Now, that's going to be critical now. That's going to be critical when I bring this down. Okay? It said, now, the thing is this. Walk with me now. Walk with me because I'm going in some miles right now. I'm going to go in some miles right now. You see what I'm saying? Now, should I start right here? The question that it was asked, I asked it. What language did he write it in since the Hebrews didn't have a written language? See, this is very critical. He's the first author, he's the first literate Israelite, Hebrew. No other book professed that any other Israelite or Hebrew ever wrote a book. Okay? Oh, it does not profess that God ordained any other but Moses. He's the lawgiver. Okay? No other book from any other prophet has ever been spoken. All that other shit is not based on the literature of the Bible. I just want to back that up. So when the question comes, I ask myself, what language did he write in? What language did God use? You see what I'm saying? What language did God use when he put the 10 Commandments on there? And what language did Moses use when he wrote that book that he said he wrote? And I'm going to read it again. It says in Exodus 24:4, and Moses wrote all the words of the Lord. Okay, let me come down. So you see, he's on there. Now, where the fuck he get papyrus from in the desert? They must have brought that with them. They must have stolen. You see a palette, the scribe palette. You see the stylus. That's all Egyptian. You see what I'm saying? The Hebrews they didn't even exist. But nevertheless, they didn't have no literate scribes that have no ancient literature coming out that what we call the ancient world. Okay? Now, it goes again. When he looked up on them walls, and just like if Ramesses would have went to school, he would have went to school. And so you see right there, Imhotep is sitting there with a scroll in his lap. God damn, man. So when it says Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptian, he also learned their language. I'm not saying that but we just using this in common sense, time so we can make sense of this shit. So you can see all over the walls that they were illiterate people. So if no Hebrew, he had to learn it from somewhere. You nigga, you ain't just gonna start writing books if you ain't been to school. Motherfucker taught you a language, taught you what it means, show you how to put an outline together, this, that, and the third. You ain't just gonna come out of nowhere, motherfucker. Even if you got to read other books to get a format, you need a teacher. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what you see here again, the ancient Egyptians with the so we asked the question. See, first he got some tablets. Let me blow this up. First he got some tablets. Then he wrote a book. So where did he get the language, ink, and paper? Now, a lot of people want to say, let me come down. I need to get that part. Let me get that part. Let me come on down. Let me come on down. Let me come on down. We talk about the Canaanites. Let me come on down. I need to get that critical fucking information. I don't know where. God damn it. I got so much shit on here. Right here. Let me bring this back up. Let me bring this back up. See, I got to go, sir. I got some shit on here. You know what I'm saying? But see, I'm teaching on the board right now. I'm teaching on the board right now. Okay. Now, look at this. It says Canaanite groups. See, a lot of people don't understand that even in the Bible, Hebrew is called the language of Canaan. Okay? They didn't receive that until they fled Egypt. They wandered in the desert for 40 years for some reason. I don't know how motherfuckers survived that, but they wandered in the motherfucking desert for 40 years without no melanin for 40 years, and then they went and conquered Canaan. And that's when they took all the culture from the Canaanite. So even in the Bible, what they call Hebrew is actually the language of Canaan. Okay, so when you see here, you look up here, you see the Canaanite language, group of northern, central, or northwestern Semitic languages, including Hebrew, Moabite, Phoenician, and Punic. And I argue some of that. They were spoken in ancient times in Palestine, on the coast of Syria, and in scattered colonies elsewhere around the Mediterranean. Okay, so we see, I got that, this is from Britannica. Okay, I got that right there from Britannica. Okay, so that's very critical that we bring that. Let me bring that back up. So this is what I'm going to ask the question. What did he write it in? Because at that time, Moses died before they went into Canaan. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't even have Hebrew. They didn't even have Hebrew. They didn't have no written language. You see what I'm saying? What if he wrote the book? What the fuck did he write it in? What did he write it in? The only language that he would have been literate in is ancient Egypt, the ancient Egyptian script. You see what I'm saying? What other fucking language would he have wrote it in? See, niggas don't want. See, I stay within in the book. I don't need motherfuckers because once you go outside the book, you fish. You know what I'm saying? The book already a damn lie. But I just like going in it and it's almost like, you know how when you got a nigga and you know you can whoop his ass, right? And you take his hands and shit, you grab, wait a minute. You grab his motherfucking hands, right? And and you grab his, and you take his own hands and shove them back in his motherfucking face. You see what I'm saying? This is what we literally doing when we use the Bible against these people. We just grabbing them by their hands and just hitting them in their own face with their own hand. So right there, and so I asked the question. I used to hear people say, "You say God created the universe with the word," and I even seen Jews on TV say, and they asked, "Well, what was the language that God used?" And I heard the silly Jew say Hebrew, and then in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, "Motherfucker, God." When God created, it wasn't no damn Hebrew because the Hebrews didn't get their language until they went into Canaan. And the Hebrew language is a Canaanite language. So that was before. So you mean to tell me God created the universe in Canaanite? That's what literally is what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? And he couldn't have created it because there was no Canaanite. So I'm asking you again, if God created and he used the word, what fucking language did he use? And ain't nobody gonna come up with a goddamn answer because they lie. You see? Wait a minute. Now, I'm gonna put this gonna be my end. Cause I use this so many times and it make motherfuckers think. You know, I'm waiting because I'm really just literally just dissecting the book. This is a lightweight, but I done already threw daggers in the air. Now, in Ecclesiastes 3:11, and I'm gonna go out with this. It states he have made talking about God now. He have made everything good, beautiful in his time. He have set the world in their heart. Listen to me now. Also, he has set the world in their heart, so no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I'm gonna state that again for you niggas out there. He have made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he have set the world in their heart so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. And if this be so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end, what the fuck is Genesis and what the fuck is Revelations? Because ain't no man supposed to know that. That's just goddamn, that's a very critical. So no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning. So what the fuck is in Genesis? What is that? Ain't no man supposed to know no shit like that. And to the end. So no man know or no end. No man know or no end. So what the fuck is Revelations? You see what I'm saying? Y'all niggas better read up. Y'all better read up and break this shit down so that y'all can know the truth. This is all contradictory to, all things in the Bible is contradictory to itself. And just like they say, a house divided against itself cannot stand. A house divided against itself cannot stand. This is the General Sarah Seti, y'all. We in the motherfucking house tonight, family. I'm gonna come back on. It's a few of them I got to come back on, y'all, so that I can crack heads a little further. You know what I'm saying? I was scrambling to kind of get the things together, but I'm gonna come back again and revisit this. So y'all make sure y'all be waiting for the general when I drop that hot science. All right. Again, King Seti online marketplace. Y'all know what it is. Check me out. Patreon, General Sarah Seti. Y'all know September 13th, Origins of the Uralian Monkey, Creatures from Beyond the Caucasus. September 13th, the link right down in the description. Hit that link, get your ticket. Hot, mind blowing. You understand what I'm saying? And finally, y'all know what it is. I did KingSeti.com, Patreon, General Seti. Here we go. GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, Treasure Chest of Knowledge. Going over there. Platforms. Classic. All of them. Classic and exclusive. Get with the general, y'all. All right, family. I'll see y'all soon. This is the General Sarah Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black Power.